What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for We Talk Mental Health. My name is Karen, as always, your friendly neighborhood social worker. And I'm very excited for today's video, not only because the beanie is making a comeback, because if you didn't know, I live in Maine and it is freezing, and I also film in my basement, which is cold to begin with, but because February 25th to March 3rd, so Monday to Sunday, is National Eating Disorder Awareness Week. And all week on We Talk Mental Health's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook page, which if you do not like them, please like them now. I will put the links in the description below. We've been talking about feeding and eating disorders, some myths associated with them, lots and lots of facts, and I thought that I would do a video to kind of wrap the week up. Feeding and eating disorders are very much stigmatized, they are very much misunderstood, and it impacts a lot of people in the United States. So the more information that we can put out there, the more that we can help people who live with these diagnoses every single day. So we're going to chat about a couple of the diagnoses underneath the umbrella of feeding and eating disorders, a couple of myths associated with the disorders, as well as some statistics. I love putting the information out there for you guys, and I think that it's really important, and it's a great week to bring awareness to something that needs a lot more attention. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for clicking. Please subscribe to the channel. I put out new videos every Friday because I'm a full-time working mom and I don't have a lot of time. So as much as I wish that I could put out more than one video a week, right now this is all I can kind of manage. Let's jump into it. She's back. The Bible is back. My best friend here, the DSM-5, as a diagnostic category called feeding and eating disorders. And a lot of people forget or don't know that underneath the umbrella of eating disorders, there are more diagnoses than just anorexia and bulimia. There is also pica, which is persistent eating of non-nutritive, non-food substances. So pica is a feeding and eating disorder, as well as rumination disorder, which is repeated regurgitation, like re-chewing, re-swallowing, or spitting out of food. Avoidant and restrictive food intake disorder is also a diagnosis underneath the umbrella of feeding and eating disorders, and it is an eating or feeding disturbance as manifested by persistent failure to meet appropriate nutritional and or energy needs in one of the following ways: significant weight loss, nutritional deficiency, dependence on internal feeding or oral nutritional supplements, and marked interference with psychological functioning. Anorexia nervosa. Everybody knows, I don't want to say everybody, most people know or have heard at this point in their lives about anorexia. It is characterized by weight loss or lack of appropriate weight gain in growing children, difficulties maintaining an appropriate body weight for height, age, and stature, and in many individuals, a distorted body image. There are different types. There are restricting and binge eating and purging types of anorexia. Bulimia nervosa is recurrent episodes of binge eating as characterized by eating in a discrete amount of time, so like large amounts of food every 2 hours would be what we would consider that characteristic as. A sense of lack of control over eating during an episode, or people compensating in behaviors in order to prevent weight gain, such as when they eat something and then they'll go and like run a mile. So compensating for what you're eating by doing something to prevent the calorie intake from mattering. Also characterized by binge eating and self-evaluation, is unduly influenced by body type and weight. Binge eating disorder is its own disorder. So there's characteristics of binge eating within anorexia and bulimia, but there's a binge eating disorder as well. So that is characterized by recurrent episodes of binge eating, characterized by eating in a discrete amount of time. The amount of food is larger than what most people would eat, and a sense of lack of control over eating during the episodes. Associated with 3 or more of the following: rapid eating, eating until uncomfortably full, eating large amounts of food when not hungry, eating alone, and feeling disgusted with oneself, or depressed, or guilty after exhibiting those behaviors. Those are the main ones that we need to remember exist and actively talk about. The big thing that I wanted to talk about today was that at least 30 million people in the United States of all ages and all genders live with an eating disorder. That's the big thing that I want you to know. That a person can have an eating disorder no matter what their body type is. A healthy person can have an eating disorder. I'm not saying that I did. In high school, I exhibited behaviors that were not healthy, could have potentially turned into some sort of an eating disorder. I still don't have great eating habits. Yesterday I only ate once. And it's not that I am, trying to not eat. It's just sometimes I'm just not in the mood to do so. At one point in our lives, I think we can kind of get to a point where we are comfortable with ourselves, and I'm pretty much at that point. I think when you turn 30, things like that start to happen. But we all suffer with body image issues. But when your body image impacts your eating, and then that lack of eating impacts your daily functioning, then we might want to consider getting help and treatment for an eating disorder. Feeding and eating disorders are very, very serious. Very serious, and should always be taken seriously. Men can live with an eating disorder, women, teenagers, young adults, older individuals. It does not matter the age, your sex, your race. Anybody can have an eating disorder. A staggering statistic, which I got from the National Association of Anorexia Nervosa and Associated Disorders, I'll put the link in the description, is that every 62 minutes, at least one person dies as a direct result from an eating disorder in the United States. They are very, very serious. I am so glad that we have a week where we highlight the importance of them and where we actively try and educate individuals on the importance of treatment and how greatly they impact those who live with them. But as always, with every single mental illness that we talk about here at We Talk Mental Health, we need to be advocating and educating every single day. So another statistic is that eating disorders have the highest mortality rate of any mental illness in the United States because of how greatly they physically impact a person. There are significant medical complications from eating disorders. But it's a common misconception that eating disorders are a lifestyle choice. They're real, psychological, serious mental illnesses that greatly impact a lot of people. So I actually found the information on the National Institute of Mental Health, which talked about researchers finding that eating disorders are caused by complex interactions of genetic, biological, behavioral, psychological, and social factors. As always with any mental illness, eating disorders are treatable. There are a lot of specific agencies and organizations across the nation, and I'm sure across the world, that specialize in treatment for eating disorders. I know of a couple locally who specifically work with individuals to help them try and manage their symptoms and try and get back to a healthy baseline. They're tailored to the individual's needs depending on kind of what's going on specifically, as any treatment plan should be. But a lot of the treatment plans typically include individual, group, or family psychotherapy, medical care and monitoring, which is huge because of all of the complications that can arise, nutritional counseling, and medications. So I'm glad that this week exists, as I am always glad that we have these important weeks where we talk about specific mental illnesses. But we need to continue to advocate and educate all year round. And that's why I'm here. That's why I started this channel. I'm glad that I had the opportunity to talk about eating disorders. So, we'll try and keep this short. I try every week, but they still don't turn out very short. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Please like the video, or, you know, don't. That's fine. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so you know when I post a new video. I'm also going to be opening up the We Talk Mental Health email address for anybody to send an email if you have any questions that we can potentially talk about in an upcoming video. So it's wetalkmentalhealth@gmail.com. I'll list it right here. So please feel free to email me if you have any questions. I appreciate you all watching. I think that you're wonderful. I know that you're wonderful. And I hope that you have a wonderful week. We are all humans, so please be kind to one another. And I will see you next time.